welcome to my channel. In this video, I was actually thinking of sharing my opening studies with you guys again, like a different opening, but then I found this very interesting book called the How to Reassess Your Chess, Chess Mastery Through Chess Imbalances by International Master Jeremy Stillman. And this book is actually pretty famous. I think some of you guys might know this book. And I think it's very helpful for you guys. So the book is designed for players in the 1400 to 2100 ranges. But of course, other rating ranged players can still look at this book. It's pretty helpful. And there are 9 parts. Part 1 is the concept of imbalances. Part 2, minor pieces. Part 3, rooks. Part 4, psychological meanderings. Part 5, target consciousness. Part 6, statics versus dynamics. Part 7, space. Part 8, pass pawns. And Part 9, other imbalances. So in the book, the author said that if you want to be successful, you have to base your moves and plans on the specific imbalances-oriented criteria that exist in a given position, not your mood, tastes, and or fears. And you guys should also know that an imbalance is any specific difference in the 2 respective positions. So the following list is about the imbalances that we will be discussing through this whole book. So they are superior minor piece, pawn structure, space, material, control of the key file, control of a whole or weak square, lead in development, initiative, king safety, and statics versus dynamics. So now, first of all, let's take a look at the first topic we have, superior minor piece, bishop versus knight. So now let's take a look at our first position here. Alright, so now, in this position, we can see that, wait a second. So now, let's compare, the only difference here on both sides is that white has a bishop and black has a knight. So let's compare these 2 minor pieces, and we can see the difference immediately. This bishop is controlling the most, 2 of the most important diagonals in the position, and these diagonals are all wide open for white's bishop. And as for the knight is actually not in a very good spot, and it can't really go anywhere. Knight h6 is not possible. Knight g4, it will just get kicked back, and it will probably not even reach g4 because white can go h3, and simply black's knight can't go anywhere. So we can see that this is the main difference between the bishop and the knight. The bishop has lots of space to go to. As for this knight, it's simply just like a pawn there. So also we can notice that white's pawn structure, white's pawns are very high, and which gives white a countless space, very big space. As for black, the position is not looking that good for him. His pawns are all on the very back rows, and his space is all being it's getting smaller and smaller. It's decreasing because the white's pawns are just way too high. Oops. Alright, so now how to improve white's position. We can look at black's weakness. So what does black's weakness, what does black have here? What's black's main weakness? Well, we can see that these dark squares are very weak, and black basically just can't get control of them. And we can see that especially this g7 square is in front of the king, and only the king is looking at it. So probably we can attack, for example, with bishop c3, looking for queen d4 ideas, and it's a very deadly attack. Other ideas, of course, are, for instance, when we're looking on the queen side, we can see that this a7 pawn is also very weak. This bishop is looking at it as well, and it's not that easy for black to protect it. For instance, we can go rook b1. Rook b1 is also possible, but if you want to keep the a6 pawn safer, you can just let the rook stay on a1 and go for the other rook b1. Now what is our threat? We're going for here, rook b7, and attacking this pawn, and there's simply just no way for black to defend. So this is also another attacking idea. And what can black do? Black basically can't do anything. The only thing he can do is actually just probably create some counterplay on the king side with h6 g5, but it's just useless because white is much faster and white's attack is much more deadlier, like bishop c7, queen d4, threatening mate on g7, and it's very hard for black to stop. So that's it with this position. Now let's go to the next one. In this position, we can see that here white has a knight and black has a bishop. So now we can see that there's a change of role. In our first position, the knight is just a useless piece inside black's pawn chain, but now the knight is just like the strongest piece on the board. It is also like it is looking at everywhere on g7, on c7, on d8, on f8, like controlling all of these very important squares and limiting black from doing anything. And we can also look at compare the bishop. The bishop in this position, comparing it with the bishop we have just saw on the first position. On the first position, the bishop was on d4, and you can say it's like the best bishop in the world, looking at this diagonal and also on a7. But here, this bishop is like the opposite. It's inside the pawn chain, and it's basically just like a pawn. It can't really do anything. Bishop f8, you can't go anywhere with that. G7 is being controlled by the h pawn, and there's just simply nothing that black can do here. Other ways, for example, here in the previous position, the a7 pawn is a big weakness. Now in this position, the c7 pawn is a weakness. So we can find ideas to attack c7. Now in this position, g7 may not be that easy. Wait, what is that? Alright. Yeah. Alright, so in this position, g7 is probably not that easy to step into compared to the previous position, but still, we have this very big weakness on black sides, the c7 pawn, and for instance, we can go on a rook b1 perhaps, and go rook b7, attacking this pawn. Now let's say if black goes bishop f8, letting the rook to protect c7, we can still go rook b7. Like here, maybe at first sight, white can't do anything immediately like dangerous, but in the long term, white's every attack is very deadly to black because black just simply can't do anything here. And now let's say we're also threatening actually queen d4 here, attacking c7 right now, later on. So let's say if black goes rook d7, trying to get rid of this very annoying knight. Now we can go rook u1, for example, protecting the knight. We can also go for instance, we can just actually leave it there. For example, queen d4, but it's probably not the best move because black does have taking ideas here and take, and if queen takes rook c7, but of course this is still winning. So like basically white can do anything here, even moving the king around, which is absolutely gonna be fine. Just moving the king around is just fine, and you can also go, for example, rook u1, supporting the knight on e6, and black can't do anything. For example, if black wants to go out with rook b8, now if you take on a7, that's not the best because it gives black's rook an open file and gives black counterplay. But you could just leave the rook there. And for example, go even king f2 is possible. And if black takes, this is a really bad decision because after a takes b7, let's say queen b8, this queen is now like a pawn. And this should be the worst position ever for black to happen. So taking is of course not an option, but now the a7 pawn is in real big trouble. And if you go back, for example, we have queen d4 ideas, and this pawn is still dead. And if you go for other variations, for example, I mean, there's actually nothing black can do here. It's basically just losing. Yeah, it's basically just losing. Well, I'm gonna take a look at the position we just saw, and like the first position we just saw, and do some brief, what do you call it? Like brief explanation on it. So wait a minute. Yep, it's here. So it's actually here in this position. Why is winning much easier than in the second position? Of course, we can go, let's say bishop c3, threatening queen d4, right on, and let's say black can't really prevent it. He has to move away with the rook, for example. Now we go queen d4, and we're threatening me on g7. The only thing black can do is just to give up material. And for example, 95, we take, of course. I mean, this is winning already. Let's say queen c4, threatening d6. And I mean, white just shouldn't be losing a position like this. Just shouldn't be losing a position like this. And this pawn is also dead on e4. Oops, on e4. Like rook at b1, for instance. And white is just winning. Alright, so I think that's it for today. Since I'm outside in a different place, the internet's not that good, and I can't really play any chess because I'll probably get flagged. And well, I'll be going back home tomorrow, and hopefully I will make videos about other things like playing puzzles or doing puzzles or playing chess. So, but today I'm just going to show you guys these two puzzles, not puzzles, but two positions, and give you guys a brief insight on what imbalances are all about. So, well, that's it for today, and see you in the next video. Bye!